Today on SVG News, it looks like gamers are enjoying Outriders, just not with their friends. Plus, we take a look at what a recent study learned about loot boxes. Yup, it's exactly what you're expecting.
Keep gaming.
What?
It means gambling. Keep gambling.
Oh, righty-o.
Square Enix and People Can Fly's Outriders finally launched on April 1st, and many excited gamers have already encountered some unfortunate setbacks. Over on Reddit, Square Enix has compiled a list of known issues with console and PC versions of the game, as well as some quick fixes and incoming patch notes. One of the most widespread problems with Outriders' launch has been the fact that players are unable to use the game's crossplay functionality as intended.
What did I do to deserve this?
When attempting to play Outriders together, console and PC gamers are getting disconnected left and right. Luckily, Square Enix has told frustrated Reddit users that it is aware of the problem and that a fix is currently in the works.
I believe that when I say it.
Square Enix wrote, "In preparing the Day 1 builds for PC and consoles, we discovered a desynchronization between the PC and console code. This results in a back-end mismatch, which causes players to be kicked out of a multiplayer game that includes both console and PC players." Square Enix explained that this issue only affects PC to console crossplay, and so the company has temporarily disabled automatic matchmaking between PC and console players. This option will be reinstated as soon as the desynchronization issue is fixed, which hopefully won't take too long. According to Square Enix, this problem is being treated with the highest priority. In the meantime, Square Enix cautions PC players against sending game invitations to console users. Although it may appear as though the matchmaking system is working properly at first, the connection will ultimately fail, which will result in one of the players being booted from the game. Here's a dramatic reenactment for you.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go, sir. Please. Please, I don't want to go.
On the bright side, Square Enix has confirmed that PC players on Steam and Epic should have no issues connecting with one another for multiplayer. Likewise, PlayStation and Xbox users can join up for matches at any time. It's certainly frustrating for players to be stuck on a solo campaign for the time being, but there's still plenty to do in Outriders. While waiting for crossplay functionality to be fixed, players can get to work unlocking the game's world tiers and other rewards, as well as mastering Outriders' different character classes. Who doesn't love loot boxes? Spending money on totally random items with no earthly idea what you're getting, that's essentially how real life works, right? You go to the car dealership, you hand them some cash, and they turn a giant spinner full of keys before plucking out a set and handing them over.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Loot box mechanics sound like the way lottery numbers are determined, and the lottery is gambling. According to a new study, loot boxes might be gambling too. Surprise, surprise, or should we say,
surprise mechanics.
A new report from the organization GambleAware found almost undeniable ties between loot box purchasing and problem gambling. Some of the more detailed findings may not be all that surprising. GambleAware discovered that out of 7,767 gamers who bought loot boxes, roughly 5% of them made up about half of the loot box revenue. These are the people the industry might call whales. The study also determined that the amount of money someone made had very little to do with what they spent on loot boxes. Instead, it was at-risk individuals, those described as, quote, people with gambling problems or problematic patterns of video gaming, who were far more likely to drop money on these randomized items.
Just one more game!
No!
Come on!
In essence, loot boxes appear to be delivering the same dopamine hit as gambling for some players. If these gamers would get a rush from pulling the lever on a slot machine or betting on a horse race, they might gain that same satisfaction from opening a loot box as well. It's a fairly serious charge, but it would help explain why loot boxes took off the way they did and why some people do indeed feel addicted to them. So how can the issue of loot boxes be addressed according to GambleAware? The group recommends that all affected games come with clear definitions of what loot boxes are and how they're used. On top of that, the organization feels games with loot boxes should be labeled as such on the box, and that game rating systems should take loot boxes into consideration. Finally, GambleAware advocates for the full disclosure of loot box odds in games, believe spending limits should be in place, and would like to see items sold in real-world currencies. If you're someone who has a hard time drawing a line between V-Bucks and dollars, That last change is one you might really appreciate. At the moment, it remains to be seen if any game developers or publishers will take GambleAware's recommendations into account. Though some companies have pledged to get better on this front, or have been outright forced to, you can likely understand why a few might be hesitant to make less money. We'll keep an eye on this story and let you know if anything changes.